Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are here for another one of your questions about work. And for those of you who are here for the first time, I'm Roy. I'm a startup investor in the future of work. And here I've got Chao Wang, who is a founder herself of a company called Dopple that I'll let you describe. I think my kids are a little grown out of it, but maybe not, but a kids clothing subscription, and who we had actually intersected for like a brief glimmer. Oh man, it must have been almost 10 years ago now, probably 10 years ago,
Yeah.
when I was the co-founder of Ouya and Chao was working in PR and had a chance to work with us. And so, yeah, Chao, anything you want to share about Dopple, please feel free to, and then fire away with the question.
Sure. We just actually launched our new site, and we like to call Dopple the worst kept secret in children's wear. So it's a children's wear subscription that you'll wish came in your size. Data driven. We work with the best brands in the world, from luxury to mass to boutique brands.
How old can kids be for it?
So newborn, we're launching gifting this week. So newborn,
ooh, so smart.
through size 14, and we can probably go a little bit up officially to size.
Sorry, I don't speak sizes. What is that? Does that mean
age 14, roughly?
Age 14. Oh, so this could work for my daughter. I will definitely check it out then.
Please do.
That's awesome. Okay, so fire away on the question.
Sure. So Dopple is growing, no pun intended, doing super well. And I found that I am very execution focused. So I have KPIs and goals and meetings and things to do, and less time to be creative. But when I think about the real milestones in the company, it's when I've had that free time and the shower ideas, or the books that have nothing to do with tech or consumer stuff, where I've gotten great ideas. And I've just found it so difficult to have time to even just think freely. How can I continue to get inspired and draw inspiration when I just don't have that kind of free time?
Yeah, so let me ask. I mean, I hate to answer a question with a question because I'll get into it for a second. But what are the things you find yourself spending your time on that are the least valuable uses of your time right now?
Oh boy. I think I'm pretty ruthless with my schedule. So I stack, I think all the productivity hacks that you can think of, I probably have tried to do, attempt to do, but I think context switching is very, very hard. And I definitely feel, I have an amazing team. I want to be there for them. I want to answer the questions on Slack. I want to get it done by the end of the day. And it's really, really difficult, the constant context switching, no matter how much I stack and organize my schedule.
Yeah, the observation that I make is what I've seen from many folks with whom I've worked is that, first of all, different occupations depend on creativity to different degrees. So you observing that for your occupation, you need those insights. Like there's that Weber quote about the great ideas don't come to you when you're I mean, he's like a long time ago. So smoking a cigar or on the couch or, taking a walk, but they wouldn't come to you unless you did those things. And I think that for certain occupations, it's really true. For others, maybe less so. So let's just, the first thing is you're aware of what it is that you need to do. Fine. Okay, that's done. The second thing that I'd say is I think there's a misconception that it's somehow about some magical setup of something, that if you only had the right morning routine, you could be creative. And I think the reason it's such a powerful misconception is that it includes an element of truth. And the element of truth it includes is that in order to have the free space to just think, you need to make time for yourself to do that. So that part for sure is true. Now, when should you do that? That is a question that only you can answer for yourself. And the way that I see people answering it is through trial and error. And I've tried lots of stuff myself. I've struggled with this. I've tried, Friday of no meetings, one day a month with no meetings in the mornings, for this stuff. And with mixed success. I mean, honestly, a lot of the time that I find for it is it's late at night and I'm home alone and I'm just thinking about something, or, I'm on a drive or something like that. So trial and error. And then one of the things that I noticed when I worked for some of the world's most, best known for being powerful people, I'll just put it that way, like Rupert Murdoch and even Mike, I think is like this, is they're the people who have, ironically, the most control over their calendars. I mean, Rupert keeps his calendar on pencil himself in an appointment book. Who knows what crazy system he has behind that. And he also has a handful of admins who sit right outside, including, some who've worked with him for a very long time and ... But fundamentally they have that control. And I think part of the way they do that is they get out, they're religious about not improving their capacity. Like, I don't think any of them are productivity gurus. Like Dan Doctoroff, who now runs Sidewalk Labs and was deputy mayor of New York and I worked for, he typed his emails at the time with like hunt and peck with 2 fingers. And like the productivity person was like, learn how to fucking type, like you can speed everything up. But they don't do that. What they're incredible at is getting out of stuff entirely that they don't need to do. Of saying, oh, that's the reason I asked about the least valuable thing you do with your time is like hire some contractor in to do it, delegate it, get that out of the way. But the first step is creating the proactive time, and then whatever rituals you need. Like for me, what would probably work, which I never do, like at one point I emailed my admin, Maria, who is amazing, and was like, I want to go on a walk every day or do nothing from 3 to 4 p.m. The only way I'm ever going to do that myself is if I have no devices. Because if I have a device, I'm going to be like, plugged into the matrix. So those are some of the things. And I just say, you've already got the awareness, trial and error about making time for yourself and what works, not expecting results right away, and then getting ruthlessly, not just being more productive, but getting out of stuff. Because there's going to be a limit to your productivity, but there's never a limit to getting out of stuff. And last thing I just say is give yourself a little grace. As a founder, there are going to be periods where you just don't have the space for that. And these things can go in waves. Like it's not essential that you be at peak creativity all the time. It's fine to just crank for a while and then relax the muscle and then tighten it again. So I don't know. How does that land?
It sounds great. During COVID, if I had anxiety about anything, I would just start like sprinting down the street. I would just go for a very quick run.
Wow, that's cool.
It would just like calm me down immediately. And so I do that sometimes because it's efficient and I can just pull away 10 minutes to, I'm not really thinking about anything. I'm just doing something so that
I think that's so cool. I think that's such a great way. I mean, look, you've raised something really powerful, which is what we do physically with our bodies is such an important part of this. Of like context switching is often hard because the only thing that's switching is the context between our ears. It's like switching browser tabs is not a thing in human history, but getting up and moving your body, that for sure is a thing. So I love that you incorporated that. I think that's really great.
Yeah. The other thing I think a lot of founders must have, I do, is guilt. So carving out free time. So we have no meeting Thursdays and we try to do half of no meeting Tuesdays, but I'm just trying to get so much done during that time. I feel guilty carving out any free time when that's actually sometimes the best way to solve complicated problems, understand what we should be testing, understand what we should be doing strategically.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guilt is a you issue. That is a thing that you can work on. I mean, I'm not trying to say like it's a problem for you. I'm trying to say the solution to it is in your power. And for some people, it's therapy. For some people, it's, just like, arguing with themselves. And, one thing I just say for founders that I've found is helpful is a founder has this weird dual role because you both control the company, but you're also the company's most valuable asset. And if I said to you, imagine your most valuable asset at your company, like how would you treat it? Like, would you feel guilty if it needed rest, or if it was a person, like if you had the most talented person who could do everything, if they were like the star athlete, of course you'd let them rest. Yeah. And then somehow, because it's you, we don't apply the same lens. And there's something, I don't quite know how to articulate this, but there's something that is somehow, there's like some inappropriate moral superiority in that of like, oh, it would be okay for them to rest, but not okay for me to rest because I'd feel guilty about it. But if you externalize it and just think you are the company's most valuable asset, what's the right way to invest in that asset? Then of course, timing and dosage, resting is really important.
Yeah, totally. I will carve out some time to not be busy.
I would love to hear how it goes. And I would love any other questions that you have. Any other thoughts before we part?
What do you do now? So you carve out some time, but what do you read? What things inspire you that are outside of your...
Well, I definitely have hobbies, which is a new thing for me in COVID. I started boxing, which is a physical, I've always been bored by all physical practices. And so I feel really good about that. I started learning to draw. I started playing chess very poorly. And I've always liked to cook, but I also added baking. So there's definitely hobbies, but I don't really feel like those give me insights in the sense that's more like for me and it's a break and stuff like that. I would say I'm at a relative low point myself in my own ability to manage for my creative time. And
Mhm.
one of the things is generating ideas, like you're talking about the ideation stuff.
Mhm.
The other is once you have those things that are proactive but not urgent, how do you make time for them? And by the way, if you're going to read a blog on this or a book, Cal Newport's blog and his book Deep Work is actually really, really good on this stuff, I think. Not actually, it is really good on this stuff. But I don't know. I feel like I'm in a place where I need to mix it up a little bit and figure it out. So I'm struggling with it myself, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to read some fiction. I feel like that always
Great idea.
an exercise.
Yeah,
Go-to.
100%. I mean, fiction is amazing for this stuff. Anything that is not what you want, including just playing. Like, how old are you? Do you have kids yourself? I assume you do because you started a service for
No,
kids.
no.
You
I
don't have
think
kids yourself
I
and you started
often
a
wonder,
service
I was like,
for
how
kids.
do people, I can barely take care of myself, and
Oh,
how do
yeah.
people have kids?
Somehow it happens. I
Same
don't
thing I
know.
wonder about CEOs, right? So
Yeah.
I feel so busy now. How does someone run an organization 50
Yeah, I mean,
times?
we started our company when my daughter was 6 or 7 months old, something like that. And it was, I don't know that I would recommend that for anybody else, but we did it. I mean, you make it through 100% of your bad days. And so I'm still here. But it is hard. And I just say play of any kind is really
Yeah.
useful for this stuff. And so, kids make it easier to play, but all right, you can find plenty of adult ways to get out and have a good time in the world that we parents struggle with making time for. But I would love to hear how it unfolds. And it's fun to have an excuse to reconnect. Would love to have you back for questions in the future.
Cool.
And yeah, Chao, thank you so much. And
Nice
for
to see
everybody
you
out
again.
there, comment, ask us questions. We can be found on the internet and to be continued.